right. Oh, look, I remember how to do my camera. Bang. Okay, so let's see, make sure we're live. We are. Hey again, everyone. Sorry I haven't been making as many videos as I would have liked. I've been kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with this. I've recently kind of confirmed my career goals and have been taking steps to kind of make those goals come to fruition. And I'm talking about heading into a career of orthopedic surgery. And for a while, I was making some videos. They're actually out on YouTube as well, a couple of them. Um, just on the presentations that I've been required to do throughout my rotations in my third year. And now I've kind of run into um, this large gap in knowledge that I need to be a good rotating fourth year in orthopedic surgery. And to do that, you need to kind of gather a ton of information and condense into the super high yield stuff that you need to know as a rotating fourth year and then moving into intern year as an orthopedic resident. And I kind of had the idea to kind of make this channel dedicated towards that, dedicated towards teaching third and fourth years the base knowledge of orthopedic content and to make them, look good on rotations and then to obviously successfully match as a fourth year in orthopedic surgery. So going forward, that's what I'm going to dedicate this channel to is very basic, like I said, again, third and fourth year orthopedic content. So when you want to kind of tack this information as a third year, preferably earlier in your third year, because there's probably going to end up being a lot. I'm hoping to get it out as quickly as possible, as much as my schedule allows. But I want this to be a resource that you could use it. It's going to be kind of your baseline knowledge to get going for your orthopedic rotations come fourth year. So today we're going to talk about how to read an AP Pelvis, just a regular old radiograph, anterior to posterior, X-ray. And I kind of want to do this for all the extremity parts. So we'll do kind of baseline, normal X-rays. What are the things that you should be looking at? What you should be looking out for? And then we'll get into pathology as I put more and more videos out. So it's actually going to be pretty quick tonight. I do have somewhere to be, but it should only take probably less than 10 minutes today. So let's get into today again an AP Pelvis. So the first thing is, I wanted to say that these images that I'm using I got from this app. It's called Sublux. It's a radiology app, and they kind of have they have all kinds of radiology, but obviously I'm focusing on the skeleton. So this is your regular AP of the pelvis, and what I want you to get away from this quick talk is when you look at this image, what are the pertinent things that you should be looking for? What are the pertinent anatomic landmarks that you should look at to make sure that this is normal and anatomic or this is pathologic? So let's get into it. So first thing, quick anatomy. And I like the way this app did it. It makes it really nice and clear. So hopefully you can see my pointer. I think you can. But here's a sacrum outlined in yellow here with your coccyx flanked bilaterally by the ilia. Okay, and then you can see your pubic rami here separated by the pubic symphysis, and then the ischia bilaterally. You also have your acetabulum, which holds your femoral head, and there's your femoral and the femur on bilaterally. So there's your basic anatomic landmarks of your AP pelvis that you should be looking at and making sure that they're intact. So specifically, we're going to go through a nice systematic approach of how to look at all these parts and make sure things aren't abnormal. So the first thing that you should look at, examine the SI joints. They should be symmetric bilaterally, no more than 2 millimeters wide, as it says here. Nice, easy. Number two. Number three, we're going to resume. What happened? Look. Sometimes here's number two. Examine the pubic symphysis. It should be less than 5 millimeters wide. So one more time. SI joints, look at them less than no more than 2 millimeters wide. Then look at your pubic symphysis. It should be less than 5 millimeters wide. Next, look at the main pelvic ring outlined in pink or red here. Should be intact, good alignment. Look at your SI joints in conjunction with the pelvic ring. Look at your pubic symphysis. Then look at the pelvic outer ring. This is step 4. Look at the pelvic outer ring. Make sure there's no disruptions, no other signs of fracture. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy, right? Look at your SI joints. Look at your pubic symphysis. Look at your inner pelvic ring. Look at your outer pelvic ring. Moving on to step 5. make sure your obturator foramina are intact, smooth, and symmetric bilaterally. If you have any kind of fracture in this area, these can look distorted or they won't be nice circles as they are in this picture. Number 6, look at the arcuate lines. Make sure they're unbroken, and so this is made up from the sacrum. Okay. Number 7, look at your acetabula, the housing of the femoral head. Look for any asymmetry, any signs of fracture, any potentially fracture fragments, excuse me, that could be kind of lodged in there if you have an anterior-posterior acetabular wall fracture. But right now, again, we're just thinking anatomic, so just look at your acetabula and how the femoral head sits in that acetabula bilaterally. Next, you want to look at your femoral necks. Make sure they're centered in the acetabula, symmetric bilaterally. And then lastly, when you have a young patient, 10 to 25 years old, you want to look at the apophyses, look for any signs of asymmetry, any avulsion fracture. This is where the ilia grow from. So you want to make sure that everything is intact with the growth plates of these bones. And that's it. Steps 1 through 9 is pretty simple. Let's go back through it real quick. AP of the pelvis is your basic anatomy. Look at your SI joints, no more than 2 millimeters wide. Look at your pubic symphysis, less than 5 millimeters wide. Next, look at your main pelvic ring, and then the outer pelvic ring, right? Next, you want to look at the foramina of the obturator foramina. Your arcuate lines, make sure they're symmetric and unbroken. Look at the acetabula bilaterally. Make sure there's no fracture fragments. Look at the femoral necks. Make sure there's no fragments or fractures there. And then lastly, in ages 10 to 25, you want to look at the apophyses bilaterally. All right, that's quick and easy. That's a quick and dirty how to read an AP pelvis, an anatomic, non-pathologic AP pelvis. Be on the lookout. I'm going to do these for basically all the extremities, all of your major bones and all the bones that will be fractured, your high-yield orthopedic, like, again, 3rd and 4th year kind of topics. So, yeah, be on the lookout, and see you guys if I can remember to end this stream. There it is.